joke, by the way, but it's a true story. Imagine, kuna game nimekaa hivi. Yeah, I'm very quiet, by the way. Sometimes when I come and just sit, not to critique, but just to also learn new things. There's a team in a Premier League game. Well, kuna screen, kama ni mob, a whole game, there are 6 screens, I counted. You tell me, a Premier League team. 6 screens. Kama ni mob zilikuwa 10. Do you know an average number of screens they're supposed to have in a game? Kama uko na chini ya 150 screens per game, you're not ready. That is the truth.
What? 150?
Funny story I can tell you. When you play, when a team in Kenya plays a 2-3, you can hardly beat them. You try play a 2-3 to a Ugandan team. Try play a 2-3 to a Rwandan team, you're going to lose by 60 points. You know?
Very true.
These are it is the sad reality. Where's that 2-3 after Kenya? Wow. Giving us a 46-45. Because of the
Ukweli, bro.
Our practice has changed. But you go and do that to a Ugandan team, you lose by 50 points. Why? They go 5 out. They can read the game. They go 5 out.
Yeah.
5 passes because already kuna mtu katikati yana man. They shoot the whole game. They shoot you out. Let's proceed. I've been to this junior NBA FIBA camps. And when you have the other coaches from the continent, Senegalese, Wawapi, I tell Martin, the only way to beat Kenya is they can't shoot. So there's the word going out. And it's not that. There's also, now our games are online. Kuna game ilisha 38-41.
Yes. Man.
That is 8 points a quarter. I mean, so somebody who does not watch Kenya basketball, them looking at the stats, 36-38, Team Premier League. I mean, that means we scored 7 points a quarter. Master fundamentals, train at full speed. Train at full speed. Train at full speed.
Might take that journey inside.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Collins Odhiambo, and welcome to another episode of Hoop Diaries. And today, we're going to dive deep into the story of Martin, Coach Martin up even, Coach Matrix, a product of Kenya's vibrant K-South basketball scene, a torchbearer of fundamentals in the game, from growing up in a family of elite athletes to playing and also coaching and learning internationally, and now coaching the next generation, pale Umoja. Martin's journey is a powerful blend of passion, perseverance, and purpose. So today, we're going to have a great conversation. I hope that you guys get value. And without further ado, let us dive into the episode. So, Mr. Martin, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me in the Hoop Diaries. Good to see you again, man.
So what are you up to today, man? What are you up to today? Leo uko na form gani? After you uko na watu una train ama leo ni kutulia? Najua weekend ndio kazi inakonga mingi.
I'm on summer break. I'm on a 2-month vacation. But basically we had a morning workout at 5 a.m. So our work starts early, 5 to 7, then we sleep and do other chores through the day. So yeah, but rest more. It's summer for us.
So you had a session today. You had a session today at 5 a.m.
5 a.m. to 7, go back and sleep, then do other things. Yeah, but I'm on a break. I'm on summer break for the next 6 weeks, so it's more rest and family time now.
Nice. That is good, man. That is good. It never stops, and it's funny how somebody will hear you talk about you had a session at 5 to 7, and they're like, "Aye, 5." But what I've come to learn, man, once you're playing basketball, or once you're doing something that you love, but now waking up is not a problem. It is very easy to wake up to go and work out. So what I like normally doing, it has become like a culture in this show. I like to go back to where it all started. I somehow know your story. When I had another show, live show, pale time ya Corona, we talked about it. But now this is a new platform, so we are going to have to hear again. Okay, the viewers will have to hear again. So can you just take us back to your childhood, yeah, your upbringing, and how you got into basketball?
Okay, yeah. So thank you again for having me in the show. It's good to see you again after years of playing basketball with you in the same court, and also seeing you
Yeah.
contributing to the game. Me, I was
Yeah.
born in K South, very many years back. I think 4 decades ago and plus. So I come from a family of sportsmen. My older sisters played international tennis. My two older brothers played high level basketball. My oldest brother, Bobby, call him Bobby Six
Mm.
Killer. Yeah, I followed his footsteps. Bobby was league MVP, Zone 5 champion, everything. So, I being the young one in the whole family, I used to walk around following my brothers, Wanakuja
Yeah.
home usiku, they have medals, they have new shoes. I'm like, how can I get this, Then over the weekends, people could come. I think one of the few guys, neighborhood who had a small TV. Those years when
Mhm.
KBC was showing the NBA show,
Ah,
so
yes.
I could see my brother's friends coming at home. When I was MJ the whole day, Grant Hill, Akina
Mm.
Hakim. So I think the love of the game just developed naturally, you know. So when those were going for games in Water, when K South was playing Buru, it was a big thing those days. I could see
Ah,
communities coming together. I said,
nice.
hey, okay, I think that this is a good sport for me. So for me, I think the rest is history now. Yeah.
Ah, nice, man. So for you, it was more of, man, my family is, a family of athletes. So it was easy for you to just follow that route. For me, man, it was, I think my dad played only in high school, ile tu kidogo. My mom was never into sports. So for you, it was a bit easier. Mi nilikuwa na, sasa kina camp. Those are the guys who now like, Akina Dilano, I saw them playing, and I was like, I want to play this basketball. And it was also for me, it was also like a place where I felt like I had big brothers because I'm the firstborn in my family, and the rest are girls. So I was like, sasa niko na mali, I have big brothers, and it was easy for me to also, yeah, follow their path. And if there's something that we have in common between me, you, Dilano, especially the guys who grew up during that time, tulikuwa tunapenda Michael Jordan.
I was an MJ freak. Yo, kama you come to a Jodo.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, One beautiful thing I loved about the Jordan era, let me call it the Jordan era. Okay, it's
Mm,
just like the same way the last 10 years NBA was selling the bro narrative. So I think we grew up in the MJ era,
yeah.
and one thing I loved about his game and the players who played during that generation was the simplicity of the game. Jordan was just
Mm,
Jordan was just posting down low, one dribble, take a shot. You know,
mm,
once in a while he comes, he flies, switches hands. So for me, the
mm,
simplicity actually attracted me more to the game. My favorite players at that time was of course Jordan. I studied a
mm,
lot of Kim Olajuwon, Tim
mm,
Duncan, you know. So some very old guy, Grant Hill, the Pippins.
mm. Oof.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
So I could see how they execute on offense. It was not magic. How Rodman was just
Mm,
playing a particular role. I'm like, why not perfect one area of my game? I was not the best shooter, but I could make shots.
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, why
Mm,
not perfect footwork? Why not cement something on the low post? So I think to me, I took some stuff from MJ, probably with the footwork or
mm,
some poise. But for me,
mm.
Hakim and the big ticket, the KGs were the one who actually I think gave me the platform to be who I was in terms of mimicking their game.
Ah, nice. Ah, yeah, you're on the same, in the same fan base with Kemp. Kemp is also a KG guy, and KG man, I liked, yeah, the big ticket. I liked KG because of his energy, and then what we just talked about, footwork. And speaking of footwork, bro, man, I remember watching you play. Bro, let me tell you, I think we spoke about this, but let me just tell you again, man. So now when I was watching Michael Jordan, all these guys were talking about Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan alifanya nikataka kushoot na nikataka kujua kushoot off the board because I watched his highlights. Unajua? Yeah, so watching these guys and what they're able to do, bro. Nakuja hivi holidays ama hiyo hata hapo after like high school ama nini, nakuja and then I watch you play, bro. Triple threat. So unajua, I was looking at you play and I'm like, this guy is doing what I've been seeing, what I've been watching, like every single time. Like if I think of you ukiwa cop, I think even I got your number ukiwa cop because up to today I've saved you Mato cop, even though nimekusave kwa simu yangu. Mato cop, bro. Ulikuwa shika ball, ulikuwa unashikanga ball, triple threat, pam, umekaa like niko umekaa kwa squat, alafu unafanya mambo yako simple, una execute. Man, it was fun to watch. Alafu tukaenda tukapatana tena UG, the same thing. Yani you are shorter than the guy guarding you, but manze unamjaza, ako kwa hewa huko, umepita chini yake apenanda pap. Aya bro, ilikuwa man, fun times. And what you've said is true. The older guys didn't have to, I think, I don't know, sijui kama saizi is because we have access to, we can watch the games more, there's YouTube, there's Instagram, that now is leading to a generation where guys can't work on a particular thing. Leo ameanza kuwork on this, kesho anaona another move, anajaribu kufanya hiyo, so you end up not mastering. So I think also pia sisi venye tulikuwa restricted on what we could see ilitusaidia, and that's why you're able to like become strong in your fundamentals. And I don't know what you think about that in today's, because you're working with young players. So do you insist on them working on those fundamentals?
We must agree, just like the Gen Zs, times have changed. They have access to YouTube, they have access to personal trainers. The swag is more, the headbands, the wristbands, the you name it, So I think it's a moment where the game is elevating. If you've noticed, players from Europe have changed the NBA, the centers. Way back, you could see a center just doing a handoff. Right now, you give George and the rest, they take a three, So I think also we have to appreciate that the game has changed. And also, players are learning from different coaches, different programs. During our time, I think I agree with one quote from Akim. He said, once he catches the ball, he has 24 options. Yeah,
24.
He gets 24 in his mind. I'm like, I have 24 moves too on the low post. So it's one of the guys I really studied. Yeah, so I say I'll not be the best shooter. I'll not be the best. Probably I could defend well, but I said there's something I could do well. So I could come on court, just work on my footwork. It was boring actually. And one of the famous quotes I had was, some staff are very boring and they're very tiring. So I think I just decided to go that route. Come unafanya footwork kwa sababu na kuangalia like, hey, mimi kuna nataka kucheza. So for me, I think it paid off. It was extremely boring and it was very tiring, but I could see the results over time. Get the ball time, do it for over and over and over. So I think even when I went to play semi-professional in other countries apart from Uganda, it could just work seamlessly. Get a good spot, get a good angle, get the ball. Yeah. Even if a 6'8" could guard me, it was just working, So I think I also take pride in the generation that we grew up in, but also this time the young guys have access to a lot of information, and they're expressing themselves. The good thing, they're also expressing themselves in the game.
Yeah.
Step back, Zimanza Juicy, Euro saves Zimanza Juicy, So it's also something you have to embrace in their game.
Yeah.
But we also restrict, discipline of the game has to also stay the same.
Has to be there.
But creativity, of course, we encourage.
Yeah. Very true. And speaking of creativity and the step back and Euro step, I watched some clip on Instagram and somebody was talking about just like even with our own Ansett Wafula. The deep three, that is something that we used to, it was not called a deep three maybe back then, but you used to see it here. Me, I remember the first time watching, yeah, the first time I watched Anset play bana, alikula tatu saba deep, anavuka tu hivi half court, ana launch. I was like, what the hell is this guy doing? You see, but what I've come to also appreciate is even that step back. I saw Michael Jordan do a step back. You know, Euro step. This guy from Spurs ndiye alileta kai Ginobili. Unaona? Manu, si ndio? So it's also about learning from the older generation and making things better, making things maybe more efficient, because saizi pia venye umesema tu basketball is changing. Now we have to change with the times, but the basics still stand. I believe ile footwork yako is still the same footwork. Unaona?
I agree.
Si
All over
ndio?
the world, all the players, yes.
Si ndio? Yeah, so that wherever you go, bado ina apply and you can still play wherever you go. That's why you're able to play in Kenya, Uganda, or any other place that you went to play in. And something else that we talked about is the culture of underground hip hop. Nakumbuka when I was growing up, man, nilikuwanga mtu wa uko fulani mbaya, KRS-One, Immortal Technique. Those are the guys I used to listen to before going for games ama just anytime. And I remember at that time, if you went to any tournament, manze, hizo ndo hip hop zilikuwa zinachezwa. Yeah, so I don't know, how did that influence your basketball journey and and your mindset during that time?
Yeah, so like I said when I started talking on this show, I was born in K-South, Civil Servant in
Yeah.
particularly.
Mm.
Akinadubi is K-South flavor. They were next door neighbors.
Yeah.
My brother Bobby from former Bank national team was a best friend to Masha or Keishaka,
Hey!
So we came from a generation where now the underground hip hop from Kenya was now developing and growing. So we could go to games apart from listening to the and one mixtapes and the rest. We could hear our own local, genre just playing in the background. So I think in a way, see guys coming and performing some diss tracks and some battles. I think I was like, this is a good place for me to be in. So the culture itself. That's why also we started in the Moja year Friday after next, just to mimic the same
Yes.
culture of basketball and hip hop.
Yeah. No, I normally even tell players, we might be working on something right now and it might be frustrating, you might not be getting it, but the moment you do it the right way in a game, in a game situation, after working on it for a long time, that is the moment when you realize, hey, bro, I have to continue working on this thing. Like there's a girl that I was working with, akaniambia, manze, coach, leo nimeshoot 3 point. Na sio moja, nimeshoot 2. We've never worked on a 3 point. Na wanga tu hapo ndani ya rim, hapo tu karibu na rim, because she was a beginner. Akaniambia, manze, nimeshoot 3 point. So now every time she goes to the court, hizo tulikuwa tunafanya zinakaa boring. Hizo form shooting, she's doing it. So I don't know for you, because you are big on fundamentals. Can you remember a moment where when you did something on the court and it was something that you've been working on and you are like, bro, this is a confirmation that I need to continue working on these fundamentals?
Funny part when I used to play, unlike now, when the game is either tied or you're down 1 point, we could create a shot. But for me, my particular style, the ball was coming to me in the low post for me to win the game, So I think also, yeah. And I think a couple of times I managed to win the game, probably on the line or on the low post, because it was working. And one of the best times for me was I was a Kobe freak. I still am a Kobe freak. Kobe could do a jab step for 4 hours. Now he's just jab right, take a shot over, and I'm like, how does he have that patience? So I got to understand that the small details are very important.
Yes.
Being a head coach for the U16 and the U18, we have kids from across the country. We fight. I chase kids away. Maziana come in the wrong attitude, the wrong style, So I think we also have to put the standards, Kids can jump, kids can dunk, but a kid cannot do a reverse pivot. The small details. Somebody cannot put a back screen.
Mm.
The element of reading the game situation is, is dribbling for 18 seconds. There's somebody who's free and it's a zone. At the trials,
Yeah.
we don't have enough time. So sometimes it might
Mm.
be harsh, but having the opportunity to have walked out the country and we see our
Mm.
development program around, we also have to come back and do the same. So
Yeah.
fundamentals, I was in Germany, we went to Denmark, we've gone to South Africa, we've gone to so many countries. It
Mm-hmm.
is the same. And coaches,
Mm.
funny enough, coaches out there, they insist on fundamentals. They are tough on
Mm.
fundamentals. They're tough on skill development. So
Mm.
that's why we started our league here in Kenya for the U12s, 14, 16, and likely now you're back in the FIBA for basketball qualifiers for both 16 and U18. You know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you can go to Rwanda, you can go to Egypt. We work with those coaches. We see their videos. It is the boring stuff. Pass, reverse, pivot, hook shot
Mm-hmm.
from U10. So much of things have changed now. Being the coach for the national team, especially working with kids in the youth, we
Yeah.
see a nightmare. We have kids who can dunk, kids who can do a 360, kids who can make shots, but they cannot do a reverse pivot. They cannot pass the ball properly. They do not. And
Yeah.
somebody's 18 years old. Somebody cannot give a back pick. Somebody's going on offense. I think it's just because of our culture for not having a shot clock. Somebody's coming dribbling for 30 seconds. The rest are watching, and it's a
Mm.
zone. You know. So
Mm.
for us, it was the acronym KISS. Keep it simple and stupid. If Collins is ahead
Yeah.
of you, pass the rock. So having the opportunity to have traveled outside the country in Europe and other African countries, I've worked with some Egyptian coaches. I've seen how they work with their youth development. It is
Mm.
fundamentals, pivoting, hook shots, back screens, and defending the screens. So for them, those four
Mm.
tenets, and they're done every day. Even the professional league, they do it every day. If you see Steph Curry's warm up, it is it is dribbling. There's no magic.
Yeah.
I remember
Mm.
Kobe Bryant watching his documentaries. He could do a jab step for the mid-range shot for almost 4 hours a day. Get the ball,
Man.
jab right, one dribble left for
Man.
years and years and years. So
Mm.
I think this generation, we've sent kids home, kids who are dunking, and of course we get criticized, but the ability to
Yeah.
read the game, the ability to read that actually, instead of posting, I can stand on the corner and create space for my teammate to drive. Yeah. So I think the beauty about what other coaches are doing outside is players do not have that freedom to do what they want. As much as we're talking about it, that creativity, of course, has taken another level. But fundamentals are the
Mm.
same. Somebody's free, you have to pass the ball. You have to understand your role, give the back screen, do what. So I think also I'm one of those guys who's trying to emulate the same. And all players who come to my program or even the national team, you cannot do the
Mm.
small things right, you cannot play for Kenya. And that is one thing I stand for. We don't care how high you
Mm.
jump. If you don't pay attention to the small details, you're
Yeah.
not ready for the international stage. And we don't want these kids to transition from the U16
Mm.
with the bad habits to the U18. And by the time we go to the Morans, it's too late. It's like we fail
Yeah.
this kid at a particular age. So this is one of the
Mm.
most important phases for us to develop these kids the right way. We might not be the best fans for them, but we have to instill it.
Mm. And I've watched like the previous games, the ones you guys had gone to just previously. And I remember you even spoke before you left the country. And I watched those games, and I can actually say even guys were commenting. I think in one group together, guys were commenting saying that the future is bright, because there are some things, yeah, there are some things those players were doing, how they were handling themselves on the court, how they were sharing the ball. Like even some teams in the Premier League don't play like that. It is good that you are strict, and you've been exposed, you've gone to other countries, and you've noticed, hey majama, this is the same thing that we need to focus on. And let me tell you, yeah, from what I saw kwa hizo games, bro, even Tanzania, kwanza game yao na Tanzania ilikuwa moto. Like you can see there's actually work being done to grow this young generation, because even wondering the players who don't make your team, maybe because of one reason or another, do you have a session like you tell them, okay, this is what you need to work on for you to make the team? You need to, yeah. Do you have a session like that, and how do you handle that? Because I think that is an important point for us to talk about. You as a national coach player, how you handle your athletes who don't make the cut, so that next time they're able to make the cut.
Yeah, of course. During that age, I think, of course, during the kids who are teens and growing up
Yeah.
into men or young ladies, it's also important
Mm,
how we handle them. It's also
yeah.
important how we convey the message to them. Okay. One
Mm,
thing people know about me, I'm very principled. I love integrity. So the first day I
mm,
tell kids, if you deserve to be in this team, you'll make this team. And I always told those kids who come to the trials, you'll be
mm,
surprised at the players who will make this list. We have guys who are doing 360 and the rest. And trust me, the last day of the cut, we have a totally different team. You know, and
mm,
one thing I like to appreciate about, you just mentioned Thunder. Tyler is
yeah.
one of the best players in the continent. He can play all the
Mm,
five positions. Something we could,
mm,
but not his style of way. Um,
yeah.
teams should borrow what Thunder is doing. We have to run our
Yes.
sets. It is boring, but we must. We have a free blueprint from Thunder. We must borrow
Mm,
it.
yes.
There are times when you play defense, sometimes maybe a 1-2-2, it will not work.
Mm,
Insist on it.
mm.
So we come from a culture where, hey, imekataa tuende hii. Imekataa.
Yeah.
We have a lot of mechanics along the journey.
Yes.
But if you go out,
Mm,
and I think Thunder, also the players have been exposed to high level playing, you insist on your systems. Systems. And you're right. Game Tanzania with Thunder versus maybe X or Y, 1-1, 6-5. First quarter, 18 ups. Halftime, 28,
mm,
32. Then third quarter, because of the consistency and the discipline on offense, it's
yeah.
and even third quarter and fourth, Thunder does the same thing. But you see the rest of the teams now, Sasa, hey, Columbus to go down 15 points. I start hero basketball. I go off the
Yes.
script. We come up to it's like a movie going off the script. And I must say that is actually one of the challenges we have also as youth coaches. We have kids
Mm,
who come from different backgrounds. We have kids
mm,
who coaches probably are the principals. I'm not saying principals are not good coaches, but we've walked around through the country. We've seen how some coaches train their players. Wamebebana kwa
mm,
mlango, so wamebebana kwa mgongo, talking the whole
mm,
time, doing frog jumps in this era. So it's one basketball. Or you go to, there's a time I went to a certain practice. The team
mm.
had 20 basketballs. It's a Premier League team, I can tell you for free. They had 20 basketballs. They used one basketball the whole session. I kept quiet. It was very sad. But if you go
Man.
up, all come at
Mm,
17, 20. And I sat there intentionally and they used one ball the whole time. And you wonder. And if you see other teams, what they do, if it's skills development, everyone has their basketball. We need to,
yeah.
there's something called coaching on the run. Jesus is
Yes.
stop. We keep on moving. So back to what
Mm,
I was saying about how we communicate to kids. We've
yeah.
set a standard. In fact, even in our team, like I was
Mm,
saying, it's very hard to have kids. Like we had two kids who came. One came from Australia in our recent team.
mm,
He
mm,
comes from a system that is very organized. It could have been our Rambo or our Kobe, but he had to fit in our system. So you have to
yes.
play how Kenya wants you to play, but not your style. So you have these kids who come
Mm,
from high schools. They are used to a 2-3. The center
mm,
is a South Sudanese. I say that with a lot of respect. That kid is
mm,
6'11". So even when he's beat, he knows there's a 7 footer on the hoop. On the other side of the
mm,
2-3 is a South Sudanese
yeah.
who's 6'9". On the other side of the 2-3, we have a South Sudanese who's 6'9". So our kids grow with the habit of akipitu MS Mama because he knows he has
Mm,
some towers there. So now
yeah.
they come to the big stage, they struggle. They don't know how to guard maybe some
Yeah.
players. And you see coach in
Mm,
Angalia, Collins scores 25 points per game. But if you look at those small parameters, because South Sudanese, we love them, we embrace them, and let me say this on record. We'd love to Kenyanize those South Sudanese that have been born in Kenya. Sports
mm,
sports is like a multi game. I believe those kids who are born in Kenya, they are our kids. We like to embrace them.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Mm,
yeah. How now to handle loss or rejection? We're always very professional in terms of I think I'll share with you during the show. We have
Yeah.
parameters that we judge players with. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
on your consistency, on your shooting, on your coachability, some certain
Yes.
elements. And for players
Mm.
who don't make that, we have a sit down with them. We encourage them. We talk to their coaches. We share what we've seen and what we feel they can improve on. And now the
Yes.
beauty goes here. I work with Kiganya as well, international coach.
Mm-hmm.
We normally also
Mm-hmm.
give them a platform for the top 50. So we normally like having the same kids together, year in, year out. I remember Kenya did not participate in the Africa Zone 5 qualifiers for the last 6, 7 years. We just came back
Oh,
last year, you know.
yeah.
So it's been a lot of building, and I'm saying this a lot of pride. Just in our second year, our guys have qualified for basket. We finished
Nice.
second. We finished second, and we just
Mm.
mentioned the game about us and TZ.
Yes.
Apparently, two players were overaged during that game for Tanzania.
Ah.
So Kenya appealed. So we might also qualify for Zone 5. But that's story for another day. So we just want to do things the right way. We want to win the right
Yeah,
way. We want to
man.
compete the right way. You know, there's a kid who scored 40 points on us. We said it's fine.
Yes.
So FIBA,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah. So he was
Yeah.
the kid in question. He was the kid in question. So FIBA has
Mm.
introduced something called bone X-rays. For the boys, they do one on the wrist before you travel.
Mm-hmm.
So you must do
Mm-hmm.
that with your Kenyan doctor and the FIBA doctor. Then also
Okay.
during competition, the FIBA doctors have a right to select any random player, one based on your performance, based on your
Mm-hmm.
energy, or body
Mm-hmm.
formation. So that
Mm-hmm.
particular player was chosen on the third day. So
Mm-hmm.
look up and it's overage. And there are rules for having an overage. So apparently, probably before they did the test, they might have counterfeited or something happened. But now when FIBA did their own test, it proved that that is not fair play. And that comes with repercussions as well.
Very true.
You know. Our girls just second year after almost 8 years. We're in the Afro basket.
Mm.
So I think we're getting it right. We're getting it right slowly. We'll keep encouraging our kids to play the right way. And also for me, this
Mm.
is a call to other coaches. Invest in your
Yeah.
networks. There's so many free the things even you do I really applaud. Invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Climate change, get friends, do some courses, have
Yes.
exchange programs. Yeah, we cannot claim we're the best and we're just seated back here home. There's so much wealth
Mm.
out there. There are so many
Mm.
free coaching courses, and I think I'll also share some interested coaches. And I realized,
Yeah.
we have coaches who come from other countries to our programs just to see what we're doing, and that's how you also gain the same
Mm.
impact. We need to traverse the continent, and I think
Mm.
if all of us have the same idea, because when you go to
Yeah.
Rwanda, when you go to Egypt, you come with a different mindset. But when you're stuck here home with the same idea, I think that's
Yeah.
also where the challenge comes. So coaches, we need to invest in our craft. Well, we
Yeah.
have no way about it. There's a course I was doing for Eurobasket. We were
Mm-hmm.
500 coaches all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
That course had 400 American coaches. You can imagine.
What?
So also the NBA coaches,
400.
because the last, is it 7 years? NBA
Mm.
MVPs are coming from Europe. They are not Americans. So
Ah.
NBA is also investing in their craft. They're like, okay, what are we not doing right? So in
Yeah.
that particular EuroLeague basketball coaches congress, out of
Mm-hmm.
500, and a couple of Africans, 400 were Americans. The Americans also want to find out what are they not doing right. So if the best
Mm.
basketball country in the world is investing in their coaches, what about us back here home?
Yes.
That is just a challenge to us coaches. So I also like to
Mm.
applaud what you're doing, bringing us to these platforms, giving also young
Yes.
coaches the opportunity to express themselves, and that's how the game
Mm.
goes. Yeah.
Mm. 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 Bro. Hey, you what you just talked about, what you just talked about from that answer can be another whole. I can see like a course. I can see like another whole episode just talking on that because manze umesema vitu mingi hapo zenye personally I'm agreeing with 100%. Number one, your story assets. That is something that I wish somebody taught me long time ago. Number two, what you talked about talking to the young players is very important. uwawachilii tu. Unaona hawa watu wa saizi sio kaa sisi, and I mean we experienced it, so we have to do better. We have to know how to address something to a player in such a way that he sees the sense and he goes home thinking about it in terms of how can I actually improve on this, because if I improve on this, there's an opportunity for me to actually go and represent the country and play outside there, and maybe even be seen, and even just grow your CV basically. Unajua, because I've had this high quality players talk about how they represented their country in under 16, under 18. Unajua hizo ni platform pia, unaenda ukionekana, unaona. And it's a great honor. And then what you've talked about, another thing is coaching. And I'm happy because you've talked about your experiences working with other coaches, getting yourself educated, learning. I think that is another challenge that we have to address and maybe talk about, because you've just mentioned it. I believe, I don't know what you think, but I believe as coaches, anybody who's calling himself a trainer, is working in basketball or anything, should focus on learning more, even before like wanting that title of a coach. Like, care about the players you're going to work with so much that you work on your craft as a coach. Read books, hizo vitu umesema, free courses, hizo ni vitu mi zimenisaidia sana. Like, sijui what to think about it. Hii kitu ya sets, is it that ni culture yetu ama ni venye unaona kama watu tuna coach saizi, as they grow up, when you talk about a pin down, when you talk about a screen, when you talk about a set, it won't be something strange to them. They'll be like, we've been doing this all our lives, so it is easy for me to go into a team, learn their sets, learn their options, and fit into the team. I don't know, do you think it's because of culture yetu ya kaende ndio inafanya like people don't like this idea of sets, ama?
I'll be very honest. Also, as a national team coach, Kaende worked for us during a certain era.
Yes.
But guess what? Rwanda caught up, Burundi caught up, everybody caught up, Uganda caught up.
Uganda,
They
yes.
embraced systems. So I think also this goes back to our high school games. Kids transitioning from Kaende basketball and then get college and a struggle. You say already has players playing the Premier League. By the time he gets his footing, ni third year, ameingia maandamano. So, but if we start this early, at point in case, I'll talk about one of my players, and I told Olivier. I think you've met that.
Olivier.
Olivier is the first player from Kenya ever to make the NBA Academy. So we just sent a short clip of 1 minute 30 seconds. So a panel of coaches sat down, both in NBA Africa and NBA in the US. So he didn't make the first cut. So second cut, because Senegal had a bunch of 6'10" kids, 6'11". Olivier Kobel is 6'3", skinny. So now when the videos now went now to the final guys to have a look at the video, why was Collins not chosen? Because you also have to give feedback, So when they opened Olivier's clip, the president during that time for the video said Olivier should be the first player in that academy because of his exceptional skills. He's not 6'11", he's not 6'10", but there's something, and other coaches from the US agreed this kid is something else. And that's how he's got his opportunity to go to NBA Africa. So after his trials, we got feedback. Actually, talk about 5 a.m. in the morning. I was with Olivier this morning. He's a kid who really wants to work. He's a kid who's really dreaming, So you come to a program, you see our kids running sets. And funny story I can tell you. When you play, when a team in Kenya plays a 2-3, you can hardly beat them. You try play a 2-3 to a Ugandan team. Try play a 2-3 to a Rwandan team. You're going to lose by 60 points.
Very true.
So these are it is the sad reality. Where's that 2-3 after Kenya? Wow, giving us a 46-45 because of the
ukweli bro.
Our practice has to change. But you go and do that to a Ugandan team, you lose by 50 points. Why? They go 5 out. They can read the game. They go 5 out. 5 passes because already kuna mtu katikati ana man, they shoot the whole, they shoot you out. So also our practices have to change. How we practice,
Yes.
how we it is easier to shoot ball. We have to shoot. We have to make shots.
Man.
Ugandans, Rwandans, they have invested in their game. We have to shoot. I repeat, player 2-3 to a Ugandan team, to a Rwandan team, to a Burundian team, you lose by 60 points. Player 2-3 to Thunder, you lose by 40 points. Why? They understand the element of spreading the floor and shooting the ball. And that also goes back to their practices. So cities it's been part of us. And also, one challenge that also Ben Kiganya and other coaches have been talking about is about developing a curriculum for basketball in the country. Something that we feel should be followed. Egypt has one, Europe, every country has one. And the discussion had already begun.
Even Australia.
Australia, from U6, we know what kids are supposed to be taught. You know,
I've seen their program.
So, and back to mentioning Thunder, and we applaud the management and everything. We have a free blueprint. Guys work hard, guys dedicate their time. And that dedication and doing the right thing has given them results. You know, so most of my challenge goes to Lindsay. They have the same work rate as those guys.
Yes,
but what are they not doing right? You know, I appreciate what Bena is doing, Esther Butali and the rest, but we have to now shape something because they're putting in the hours. But for me, I'll also encourage them to take more trays. Lazima tutupe hiyo ball. Lazima tutupe.
Lazima bro.
Yeah, hakuna shortcut. And for Premier League, my challenge also to all players, if you're not practicing at the bar level, then practice for playoffs. Season issue, you give a report to your bosses that you made the playoffs. You know? And bar level is elite level. You know, so and that's what Panda is doing. They're not training for the local league. You know, some teams are trying. Yeah, so I think imefika hapo. Sadly, and we must catch up.
We must catch up, and well, and they've set a bar. And I was talking to one of the guys there, and he told me, I think this is the manager or some head there, said that they are not out here to compete in the league. They are here to win the league, and that is what happened. Yeah, they were able to win the league. It was not about putting up a competition. For them, it was clear we want to win the league, and that is what happened. And you're able to you come to understand that number one, as a team, if you cannot shoot, your offense can't. I normally say your offense can't breathe, because as long as you can shoot, you open up the offense, because everybody is a threat. Lakini kama mwezi shoot, watakaa tu hapo ndani, unajua, na inakuwa rahisi. We've been playing with some younger players. Tunasema okay, niaze wazee versus vijana. We beat them every time kwa sababu we just know hawa wanataka kushoot. So what we do, we're just on their face. Can you create a shot when I'm on your face? They're not able to do that. They're not able to read that. So what happens is we end up beating you, because we know if you give you space, you'll shoot. But if you're in your face, you can't attack or maybe create. So mambo yako imeisha hapo. Same thing now the other side. If you cannot shoot, you cannot open the offense, the defenders. Now they just clog the paint. Na si hatuna ile rule kama NBA. So mtu anaweza kaa tu hapo kwa paint. Na unapata game inakuwa ngumu. So we have to, hiyo ni ukweli man, we have to learn how to shoot, and we have to incorporate it in our training. But hapo umenifurahisha bana. Yaani napendanga nikikuwa hapa na makochi kama wewe hivi, mna confirm vitu mimi naona. Unaona, na confirm vitu mimi naona, you know. Kuna story nyingine moja kichwa yangu, lakini acha
let's proceed. I've been to this junior NBA FIBA camps, and when you have dinner with the other coaches from the continent, Senegalese, Wawapi, I told Martin, the only way to beat Kenya is they can't shoot. So there's the word going out, and it's not that. There's also now our games are online. Kuna game ilisha 38-41.
Yes, man.
That is 8 points a quarter. I mean, so somebody who does not watch Kenya basketball, them looking at the stats, 36-38, Team Premier League. I mean,
Manze.
that means we scored 7 points a quarter. So to come hivyo, somebody just read the stats and anasema so as back
Tuwezi.
to so just their coaches are doing a great job. We commend them, but lazima sasa tushikane. Our practices has to change. But lazima
Yeah.
change. Coaches have to. The free online resources. Kuna YouTube. Kuna coaches
Manze.
platforms. We must embrace them. Your style used to work, but now things are changing. I was telling about these coaches who in the EuroLeague basketball congress. The American
Yeah.
coaches are coming to Europe
Yes.
to learn what are they not doing right, because Europe has caught up with America. If the
Yeah.
Americans, the best number one country in the world, is also going back, maze, hapa, something's not working. So I
Something's
think
not
also that is
working.
a challenge to us as coaches in Kenya as well. Because every other time we have coaches from Rwanda go to the US to do something. We have coaches from Uganda traveling every other time. The same has to happen. This I got an opportunity. Zedi went, Shem went. Just want to see more coaches going. That's how the game is going to go. Because unapewa team huko, they give you a U10 league team, they give you a U14, they give you a youth team, they give you a semi-pro, then you go to the bench of a professional team. So for us, we had the opportunity to work with Ben Munich and Barcelona FC. So it was fun. You learn the different techniques. You watch EuroLeague, you embrace, you love basketball. The movement, the discipline, yeah. So I think we have great coaches in Kenya. Just now have to just now step it a bit further. It is here to just make change.
Yeah.
Our practices have to
Lazima.
change. Because it shows how
Lazima.
we're playing. There's no shortcut.
Yeah.
And this is not to offend anyone. It's just to show you
It is
kids
true.
are coming up. It is true.
Yeah.
It is true. We need to change a couple of things.
It is the reality. Hapo hata hujaoffend mtu. It is the reality. Tumesema tu vizuri saa hizi. A Premier League game inaisha 41-38. It means man. Kuna mseli. Yes. Bro. Hiyo kuna shida. Na venye umesema tu ni back to what? Training. Kwanza kuna hiki tunasikianga siku hizi. Manze, that is something that you should have learned in high school. But mi venye mi uangalia vitu. If you're in my team right now and there's something you cannot execute on well, if I'm the coach, I'm to help you execute. Na naweza kuambia tu kitu rahisi kama Phil Jackson venye aliambia Shaq. You have to improve on this and this for you to play in my team. Na ikabidi Shaq akaimprove. Unaambia tu mseni aje. Venye umesema tu ukiongea na wachezaji wa make team. We have to I feel like you have to care so much about the players and the team and the basketball in general. Ndio ufike mahali unaweza insist on, hey guys, we have to shoot. So tukikuja zoezi tutakuwa tunashoot hivi, tutakuwa tunafanya hivi so that they improve. Kama hii team ya Zitek, Obi anafanya kazi poa sana. What I realized actually I realized after talking to him, sasa ndio nikaanza ku look back, nikagundua by the Obi amekuwa consistent. Like venye tu alianza hata kugrow. Hata wachezaji wakienda, the players that remain still play well, still shoot the ball, still unajua, because kwa zoezi yake alisema hata that he makes sure that how they train is how they are going to play. So uwezi train watu style moja and then on the game you are there with your board trying to draw stuff and what,
Right, miracles.
It doesn't happen. And what happens is players end up being confused ama frustrated because they are not playing free. Wanajaribu kufanya kitu wameambiwa saa hizo. So unapata ni manze, nimewachorea hii kitu kwa board, nimewaambia hii kitu, lakini kwa the back of I'm skin, lakini the back of mind I'm like bro, it is clear this thing you've not been working on it. Kama uko pale kwa home court, you've not been working on this thing. And I came up with a quote actually out of that. I was like, man, I don't think anybody should be frustrated on things that they are not working on. So hata kama wewe ni coach, you don't even have the right to be frustrated with your players when they are doing you're trying to tell them to do something that you've not worked on with them mkiwa huko zoezi. Like it doesn't even make sense. Hata sio worth your time unless umewaweka zoezi wakafanya na wakakuja hapo wakasahau wakamess, then unaweza kuwa frustrated, kwa sababu manze venye umesema Euroleague bro, mi Euroleague nimefuata mpaka venye kaisha. Mike James nilikuwa nataka Mike James ashinde, lakini bana Pacho alikuwa wako sawa. You could see yani Bakina simple but venye umesema tu systems.
Shout out to by the way, Obi. You could tell how Obi was also fundamentally sound. Not to
Yes.
disrespect coaches, not to disrespect coaches
Yes.
who have not played, but just you could see some characters, from him and how he coaches.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
just one sad reality that I have to put it out is I've been to so many clubs. I've been called to coach so many Premier League teams, but I've just said my focus is just youth development. I've sat in those practices for weeks. Teams in the pre-game, and you're right, teams in the pre-game, they don't run sets. Manze wiki mzima manze. I've seen it. It is very sad. Yeah, I have to say that out loud because I've seen it. Kuna team nazo. Just as a guest coach, I just sit down and watch. They don't run sets. I run play for most teams train 3 times a week. Kwa hiyo siku tatu hawajafanya plays. Then they have a game on Sunday. I mean, back to your point, you can't draw things that you've not, and that goes back to coaches. Some of us are not honest with ourselves. You don't run your systems, you don't run your plays. Then you want somebody to remember the plays on Saturday.
How?
Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi. All the best players from BAL now are in Burundi. Why? Because of the level. Look at the coaches who are going there. So we must insist. We must teach. We must do it. So one thing I love about Euro basketball is a coach. For you to coach, you must demonstrate the drill. Hakuna tu So you must come and ball you must teach. You must teach. You must demonstrate. So that also goes into coaching. Come to make you look good upon. For them, you must master what you're teaching.
Yes.
So I think coaches, we can do a better job out there. We must insist. In the Premier League, I ran sets for 2 weeks. I was there for 2 weeks. No sets. Game is 36, 35. No. Then a coach takes pride that they won the game. You're killing the game. You are killing the game.
Man.
It's quite sad. It's quite sad.
It is sad, bro. It is
a joke, by the way. But it's a true story. Imagine. Kuna game nimeka hivi. I'm very quiet, by the way. Sometimes when I come and just sit, not to critique, but just to also learn new things. There's a team in a Premier League game. Well, kuna screen, kama ni mob, a whole game, there are 6 screens, I counted. You tell me, a Premier League team. 6 screens. Kama ni mob zilikuwa 10. Do you know an average number of screens they're supposed to have in a game? Kama uko na chini ya 150 screens per game, you're not ready. That is the threshold.
What? 150?
Team ya league yetu ina screen 7. Hiyo team nyingine iko na screen 12. Why do you think even the best players, the LeBron James, get picks? To free up your offense, So these are small things because we didn't also do them during practice. So screens, NBA screens, these are my backlog and stuff. We must incorporate screens. A lot of screens in our games. Screen away. Screen the free man. Screen. We are not screening enough. We are not. That's one thing also. It has to go into coaching.
Have to go into coaching.
Sorry, I cut you short.
No, there's no problem. That is perfect. Itu ni kama masterclass ingine unatupea hapa ya everything that you've learned so far, manze. And
actually, I appreciate. So actually, on that note, on the U16 and the U18, we run the same sets. We have a system, we have a culture. So as it plays a U16, there's a U18. If you make it to the U18, U17, you find the same play, the same system. You will not come and find something new. But if something new, it's just a breakdown of what actually you've done. If you learn 5, 6 plays, the 7th and 8th will be some things you've learned from what you learned in the U16. So that same thing is done out there. there's no magic. You must have a system. So ndio system tuko nayo.
Yes.
So the kids will come to the trials and so who will make the team. We run the same motions. Guys watch LeBron James every day. How to stop him? He still scores 40 points. So
Yeah.
we can just move the same plays and just make them better. If I have a ball, it's a backdoor cut. There's something creativity comes out. So you must have systems.
Yes.
And green
Yes.
coaches use your networks. Lazima tutembe, lazima to learn. We have so much wisdom in this country, but we must invest in ourselves. You're in a shortcut. We might think we are
Yeah.
good here locally. We might think we've been in the industry for quite some time, but we must challenge
Yeah.
ourselves as coaches. We
Yeah.
must challenge ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we must grow. We must grow. That is the only way, because hawa watu hii wanatusikiza sisi. So we must grow. We must want to grow. That is the only way we are going to grow the game. Unaona, because of you've gone to other countries, you've worked with other coaches, you had a different experience of how things are done out there. So ukirudi hapo ukizi-apply, tunaanza kuona results. Unaona, tunaanza kuona results. You can talk about this. You being at Umoja, having a good coach, and also creating opportunities for other players to go, play outside. How has that been for you? And how does that make you feel, knowing that you have a program you're running and able to present opportunities to your young players through what you've just talked about, networking, through your networks? So how has that been, and how does that make you feel, creating those opportunities for these young players?
I think during my playing days, I had one great quote: "You never know who's watching." So
Yes.
for me, you never know who's watching. So for me,
Mm.
I was very diligent to the game. I was very committed to the game, and also I found pleasure in also. Lumesema tu mtu aliniambia kitu kwangu. So
Yes.
I was kind enough to come and show them. I could see guys wanakuja home, they knock at my door. Hey, mazee zile moves zako, can you come and teach us? To a point where also my teammates could come to me like, hey, we like what we see. Can you, So I've had the opportunity to work with great teammates and also younger players. So I think also having the opportunity to play also outside, I felt why not come back and do the same back here home. I'll tell you for free. I got offers in Uganda, I got offers in Rwanda, I got some offers in Mali, and I said, why develop kids from outside and not our kids?
Yes.
So I just let me come back home, and those guys still reach out. We want to come and do X and Y and Z for our kids or for our youth program. And they have the resources. They have the right connections. But I feel because Tiganya also is not based in Kenya, but he has that passion and love for our kids. He's coming the next 3 weeks to do something for our kids. So we've agreed with most of the guys in the diaspora. We have to push this agenda for our kids. It is us who can do it. Talking about partnerships also, it's training. It's really training to run a program. Kids who don't have transport, kids who don't have maybe school fees, kids who go through different challenges, girls who cannot buy their monthly maybe sanitary wear, but they're here, they're on court. So also that has to come through, getting good friends. So I've had the opportunity to work with lovers of the game who support in one way or another. Somebody can just say, I've shipped 10 basketballs for you. I've shipped 6 boxes of sanitary pads for you guys. I've done this,
Nice.
And that came through just hard work. People could just see. And that's why even Premier League teams, I get so many offers to come to the Premier League, but I find joy in working with the youth. Not to say that I
With the youth.
Yes.
Yes.
So we need to get partners out there. So I've had the opportunity to work with GOA, and I want to really appreciate Masai Ujiri, who built for us that not only is not only used for with our program, kids from our program, but also guys from all over Nairobi. Guys could just come and walk in and play. If you realize basketball courts are located either in schools or churches, and they have restrictions. Very few are community based, So I talk with a lot of pride that Umoja is one community basketball court where you can just come in and hoop, you know. And I think also Jericho and Komarok, and I think there's been a blossom of basketball. Kiambu now is also a new basketball court. What also you guys are doing at your other place. So I think with more of these spaces, the game will grow. You know,
Yeah.
talking about partnerships, I'm glad that actually we have junior MB officers in Kenya. That comes a lot of goodies, and we anticipate to see more. They are focusing on building 100 basketball courts.
Yeah.
Naroni are good friends of ours, like in Finley. My plea to them will be to make sure. I feel I might be wrong or a bit ambitious, but we have
Yeah.
basketball courts in Nairobi. We have enough because from Umoja to Komarok is a 5 minute ride. Komarok
Yeah.
to Diwoko is a 2 minute ride. Umoja to Buru is a 2 minute. Buru to Jerry, and other stuff.
Mm.
So Kisumu tukienda tu ni sports grounds, So we want more of
Yeah.
those people outside the city,
Yeah.
Kisumu tano, Kakamega tatu, Mombasa
Mm.
sita. Nairobi you
Hey,
have
kwanza
enough.
Mombasa. Pia Mombasa, by the way.
Yeah,
Coach Willie talked about the same thing on the last episode. Yeah.
Nairobi you have enough courts for now.
Mm.
Though we can still embrace more, but we need now courts to be spread across the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Now let us just talk about, you've already made some impact in the basketball arena in Kenya. But I also like to know, beyond basketball skills, what are some values and life lessons that you prioritize in instilling in your players, ama the players that you work with?
One thing for me, for you to be a part of a program, you must be a student. I think that is one thing we
Mm.
take very seriously because we've seen how most kids come from vulnerable environments or households. So being a student is one step towards attaining a level of success because we have partnerships with national schools, universities, and scouts abroad. So it's
Mm.
easier to be helped as a student rather than just being somebody who's a baller. You also need to, you're a human who we value. So I think being a student
Mm.
one is something that we highly value.
Mm.
Second, we have different age groups from U10 to U18. For
Mm.
us, how we measure success now comes when we see kids making better decisions in life. After high school,
Mm.
we feel after high school you're self-sufficient. So those some we still remain with them when they get to university. But the ability for them just to make the right decisions in terms of
Mhm.
focusing more on their education or their careers, the ability that they can come back to our community and support
Mm.
one or two kids, maybe through
Mhm.
paying tuition or just volunteering to the program. The
Mm.
ability of them just, I come from a hood, of course, to Iceland. We come
Yeah.
from an environment where there's a lot of chest thumping, of course, drug abuse and stuff.
Mm.
We have girls who are not yet out of the closet to playing real sports. But
Yeah.
anytime we have games on our courts, the next day we have around 20, 30 girls. So the more
Yeah.
girls, other girls playing or other big women playing basketball, we get motivated. So for those
Mm.
small areas, for us, add value to our program. So for us, we cannot just say we want a disciplined kid. How do we discipline that kid? So it's
Yes.
just them falling into a system, being a
Mm.
student, getting good grades. If you cannot afford if you cannot afford fees, we try and partner with other schools and coaches or other international coaches. Um,
Mm.
we have community meetings because I come from a community and these are children from a community about as much as this is a program to just give them
Mm.
an insight on what's happening. So sisi ni kama Kiswahili nasema jumuiya, sisi ni
Mhm.
kikao, because the
Mm.
same kids
Mm.
come from the same community. But now the pity about it is we have now kids who are coming from all over the city. They want to be a part of what we do, you know.
Yes.
So because of the standards that we set. So of course discipline is paramount. You have to be a student, you have to get good grades, then you have to work
Mm.
hard. You have to work hard. Yeah. So
Mm.
those three small tenets now translate now into a whole inclusive, person into probably who you become. I'm glad that I work with former bowlers who are lawyers, who are doctors. Sometimes we get opportunities to talk about sports nutrition. It is something that looks like a fallacy, but kula tu mandizi mbili na machungwa moja. So talking us about those small elements,
Yeah.
we partnered also with the Kenya Library Association, where kids just go maybe twice or once a month to just chill and be students and just read. Some NGOs also come and talk to our girls about, of course, how to be better women. Our mothers also from the community get educated on some entrepreneurial skills, table banking, money market matters. So for us, it is more about a kid going into the community, and being successful. Then we always tell our kids, not everyone is going to go to the US.
Yeah.
You're going to Butere Girls, it's a win for us. It's a win for your parents, it's a win for the community. So yeah, those for us we are big on the small values as well. So yeah, that's how we go about it.
Ah, man, that is good. That is interesting to know that you're actually involving the community, the parents. That is a great. That is a great way to go. And I mean, even in the best leagues, even in Europe, even in the NBA, those teams are doing stuff with the community. That's why when they have a game, like, oh man, like EuroLeague, man, they ile fan base guys are ile nani noma hata US ya EuroLeague noma community bro from a young age, even in football, you know that hey manze, our household is a Manu household, ama is an Arsenal household, so you grow with that. No, so it's good, man. It's good that you're actually involving the community. Hiyo ni mara ya kwanza nimesikia kwa show, so that is a good way to go. That is a good way to, and I hope other coaches also take that and run with it. Involve the community. Hiyo ni poa sana. And now from your own experience, is there a moment ama a story that makes you say, unajua ni aje, even when I experience challenges as a coach, I need to still continue coaching every day? Is there a story ama a moment that reminds you to keep going?
I've had people who never gave up on me. People say that I'm always kind, but I learned it from someone. Okay, like in 99, Coach Kerry, there are people who gave me an opportunity to education. The same education gave me a platform to be a professional outside basketball, and I felt, why not? Kuna msemo Kiswahili, usiambie mtu asante. Asante ni ukimesha hiyo mbegu. So one of the things I was told by also one of my mentors is, I've helped you go this path. The only way you can actually return that favor is if you continue the same seed. So I had people through my journey that never gave up on me. Sometimes things are tough. Running a program is tough. Somebody just goes up and says, "Hey, abu nimekuwekea ball 10 kwa shipment or something." You see, so that gives you a reason not to also give up on these kids, because these kids look up to you. Their parents look up to you. Because sometimes it reaches the point where parents tell us, and I'm being taught ndakustaki kwa Coach Mato, because they know the value that they get from our program.
Yes, sir.
If you have people who are looking up to us, sometimes it's tough. It is tough. We're also human beings. We go through things. We have families. It's just extra thing that people are looking up to you. So you're like, okay, why not brush off my face and just smile and make the world a better place? So Musema, Sikio Parapanda, when God asks you what you did with the gifts, I'll boldly tell him, I did this with the gift that he gave me. So I'm a staunch Christian. So also I hold some values. I hold some values. So also this is something also I think that also God gave us. It's just something we can spread. We shall not be here for long doing this game. We've been in the Kwafama the next 5 years. So I want to walk away from the game saying I made an impact. Even if it's just with 2 or 3 people, then that is a win for me, basically. And that's why I also know you. Probably in the next 5 years, Our lives are changing, things are changing, the political
Yeah.
atmosphere is changing. Then the
Yeah.
Kwakulimo shall go to Patinoko Kenya, you know. So
Yeah.
the idea is just to sow the right seed. And I feel people are seeing what you're doing. If one
Yeah.
or two, three will continue the same thing, we can sit back in our farms and smile and say, we did something for the game.
We did something.
Yeah.
Man. Kabisa msee. Yeah, ni hivyo tu. The few people that you can help, the few people that you can teach something. Yeah, manze, hiyo ndio kitu muhimu. And venye umesema tu, we got this game, learned from others. The best thing you can do is to pass it on. If you're watching this episode up to this moment, number one, thank you so much for joining us. Remember to subscribe, comment, like, and all that good stuff. We're heading to 1,000 subscribers. We are less than, I think, we are like 80 subscriptions away. So pole pole tu mpaka tufike 1,000. So if you can be part of that journey, please subscribe. Now, looking back on your journey, what legacy do you hope to leave behind?
One, that I play the game the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Two, that I was a good student of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Three, that I'm teaching fundamentally sound techniques to the game. So for me, everything is for me learning from the game, giving to people. So I think for me, those three things are very important. And lastly, how I made people feel. Because at the end of the day,
Oh,
we are all humans. So
yes.
the relation that I also have with my players is very important. So I just
Mm,
want to be a good coach. I want somebody to say he's a coach who cared about not only me as a player, but as a human being or as a person. So those are values that
yes.
I've learned also from other people. So
Mm.
those three, four simple attributes to me really are the most outstanding.
Ah, nice man. Hapo tuko sawa. You agree. Those are good ones. And one thing that I would like us to talk about is, we have young players. Um, we have a lot of young players in the country, in Africa, and we've worked with a lot of them. And they're dreaming big. They're hoping for better things in the future. So if you're talking to a young athlete right now who's dreaming big, who's passionate about the game, who wants to go as far as possible with this game, what is an advice that you will give them to help them in their journey?
Just the way you know me, master the fundamentals. That is the first
Mm-hmm.
tenet of the rule of the game. Scouts
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, they don't have to come to Kenya to look at a 6'5" player. You just send a 2-minute clip. The first thing they look at
Mm-hmm.
your footwork, how
Yes.
you pass, how you run, how you. So back to just the small attributes. How fundamentally polished am I? So
Mm.
because coaches tell us America has so many scorers. Coaches tell us
Yeah.
they tell us plainly, we don't want guards, or you must be exceptionally good. America has a lot of scoring kids. So
Yeah.
what extra detail do you have?
Do you
Good
have, yeah,
rebounder, good screen setter, good. That also goes back to the fundamentals.
fundamentals? Yeah.
Good screens, good rebounds, the ability to box out well, the ability to play good defense. Because coaches
Mm.
tell us every day they don't want a shooting guard, they don't want a point guard. They want 6'5" and above. Because there are millions
Mm.
of scorers in the US. So, like I was telling my journey, I said I'll not be the best shooter, but I'll be something. I'll be good at X or Y. And that's what I did.
Mm. Mm.
Luckily, these kids have a lot of access to so many things. Fundamentals will not change. You'll go to the US, they'll look at how you shoot, your mechanics, look at how you pass, look at how you run, look at how you
Mm.
fill the lanes, are you in the right lane, look at how you
Mm.
spread the court, even first day of pickup. Yeah, they'll just make you play. Americans really play a lot of one-on-ones in game situations. So the ability
Mm.
for you to space out, that is a tick for them. So just be a good student of the game, master the fundamentals, work hard, use resources online, you know,
Mm.
and one advice I tell them, don't go to the edited stuff. hardly people watch behind the scenes workout for Steph or LeBron or KD. Allow those guys miss shots.
Yeah.
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 So
They're
and
human beings.
human beings and the reps
Yeah.
now they put in before the highlights come. You know. Yeah. So we need to be celebrated in the silence in stadiums before you now we go to big.
Mm.
So use your resources well, use your coaches well. Um, in the era of technology as well, if you have a good clip, send to a coach. How can I? What do you think about my game? I've seen so
Ah,
many kids send me stuff. You know.
yes.
Also, during the national team also as well, some coaches complain that you don't come to their region. We try as much as we can. Fun enough, this team that we have, three teams, their coaches sent video clips and when we brought them to the team. One kid
Yeah.
comes from Baringo County, the Wharton County. That kid came and he made the
Nice.
team. Coach alisema tu,
Mm.
hey, niache kuna mtu fulani, I think. And the same kid has made the team for GOA, Africa, the festival.
Man.
He's, so instead of also complaining, we as coaches also need to impress the coaches. Talk to coaches. I
Mm.
talked about networks. Reach out to coaches. But now to the particular kids, just master fundamentals. Train at full speed. Train at train at full speed. Train at full speed. Again, train at full speed. If it's your short, it's
Mm.
full speed. So whatever you're doing, it's full speed. You know, yeah. Then the rest
Mm.
it's not luck, but yeah, they say preparation meets luck. So just keep on putting in work, putting in work, putting in
Mm.
work, and go for tournaments. It goes back now also to investments. Come to for tournaments. Go for high profile games. You know, so
Mhm.
also coaches have to support. Talk to your parents. If you don't have support as parents, you can talk to your coaches. Come for tournaments.
Mm.
Youth league is open. Come play in the league. Do something. Be seen. I always tell
Be
kids
seen. Yeah.
you have to be seen. There's no two
Mm.
ways about it. Yeah. Hey, when I'm saying mrefu, somebody already has a bias over your height because you have been seen. So kids also have to come
Mm.
under that shell of just yeah. Hey. So coaches and parents also have to invest in their kids. You know, yeah. I think we've
Mm.
both captured it. You must be seen. You
You
must be
must
seen.
be seen. Mm. That is true, man. And I've shared that with um the athletes that I've worked with. Um, try and like create your own highlights. Like use your Instagram, ama your Facebook, ama whatnot as a CV. So post your game highlights, post your even if you're in a high level pickup, just post. Unajua hizo ni vitu somebody can see, and you never know when you message, you never know who's watching. You might get an opportunity off your videos. What what's next for you personally? And if you have any new goals or projects that you're working on right now, you can share that you want to share.
Yeah. So I'm a professional teacher, by the way, and
Oh,
basketball.
nice.
I use basketball as a tool to get where I am. I
Mm,
hold a couple of postgraduate diplomas, degrees, all kinds of basketball. So
mhm.
my focus now is to make sure that also my region where I comes from, the game grows, that also kids get opportunities, same as the ones that our kids are actually experiencing here in Nairobi. So
Mm.
I'm planning to partner with a couple of like-minded people to grow our region and make it actually not just a past, but also a community that also embraces new challenges and new opportunities.
The second last segment of the show is this one that I added, and I think it's a fun way to close the show. So I'm going to ask you some quick fire questions, and the only thing you have to do is to answer with the first. You have to give us the first answer that comes to your mind. Okay, so the first one is, as we go back to your playing days, what was your go-to song? Like ulikuwa unasikianga hii ngoma kabla game inakuchangamsha, ama maybe what were you doing to get you pumped up for the game?
Uh, Mob Deep, Careless One, those are my kind of music. Yeah, anytime.
Nice man, nice man. There's one of my favorite songs from Mobb Deep. It's called Korasaki. Mm. Inaitwa Win or Lose.
Those are my guys. Anytime.
Unaitambua? Yes. That was my go-to song before a game for a very long time. Hata ndaisikiza after hii. Nimekawia kuisikiza. Hiyo ngoma ilikuwa ni bamba mbaya.
Thought
Haya.
Method Man. Yeah, those are my kind of people.
Method Man. Bro, tusianze kunywa hizo vitu. Naona tutaanza tuna unanikumbusha mavitu. So second question is I feel like I know the answer to this, but nataka unijibu tu. I'm guessing. So if you aren't involved in basketball, what will you be doing right now?
Acha niseme Kiswahili, Yesu ni Bwana. I have no idea because the opportunities that the game of basketball has given me, I don't think honestly that I could have gotten through another avenue. So for me, I just thank God for that. It would have been something different, but not as successful as what this path has led me to this time.
Yeah. I was thinking of a teacher. I was thinking like, oh jamaa angekuwa anafunza watu kitu fulani hapa. Kwa sababu ni mwalimu saizi, ni coach, ni mwalimu anafunza watu vitu. Anyway, yeah. The next question is what moment in your basketball journey are you most proud of? Maybe ni medal ulishinda, ama is an experience that you had that, a moment in basketball that you're proud of.
Back to my second question. It's something that is very personal. Actually, I was in the seminary for priesthood for 2 years. Yes, so I could have been a priest, by the way, but still for another day. I was in the seminary for at least a year before life came, but yeah. So yes, that question, please.
That question was a moment in your basketball journey that you're proud of. Maybe it's just a moment or just a trophy or medal that that you won.
Yeah, so I've won a couple of championships, a couple of MVP honors, but one good one was when my mom and dad, I think they were going to church, wakona nikicheza. So first then there was a big crowd. The MC was cheering on my name, the Okwako name. So I think they came a bit amused, like what's happening. So the fact that they were there by accident or by choice or whatever reason, to me that was, I think, special. And until this day, my dad used to think I play volleyball. It was really fun. So siku amesikia jina yake imeitwa kwa microphone, anashindwa so akakam nini Okwako anaitwa kwa microphone. So the fact that I actually told them when I was getting my accolade, to me, I think that was special, that they witnessed things that I've been bringing in the house, that these things are actually real. And seeing their name in the papers often, over and over, I think that now it made sense to them.
That is good, man. You when umesema tu hiyo the name Okwako, so unajua budako anasikia jina yake hapo like jana wangu anabeba jina ya familia. That is dope, man. That is dope. Hiyo ni Mungu alipanga akuwe hapo saa hizo. Man, that is dope, yeah. Second last question is, who is someone in your past, it can be a family member, coach or friend, who believed in you when you doubted yourself?
For me, my best time all player was Cabral Gisanda. Played for NSSF. At one time, we were teammates in Lifeboy. He's one player now. I used to study. He taught me the game. He taught me to play multiple positions. He's someone who could come and give me shoes. He's someone who could push me, and he's someone who told me this game will take you places. You'll be better than me. Check on me. So for me, thumbs up to Cabral Gisanda, and also my brother Bobby is somebody actually who we also teammates at one point. and playing the
Yeah.
same position. So I think
Yeah.
the fact that he could also guide me through his steps and also being a league MVP for quite some time, I think
Mm.
those are two amazing people that I have to mention. Yes.
Man. Lakini hivyo ulikuwa na bahati bana. Yaani uko na bro hapo na ni mnoma ma MVP alikuwa na hii maneno. Hii shot alikuwa nayo manze. Nimemwona akienda manze. Nimemwona sasa zile siku akienda kumalizia but bado alikuwa manze ako easy. Alikuwa very very easy tu. Ako tu calm yana. Yeye anasukuma tu bake manze. So hapo manze. Hapo ulikuwa na bahati. The last question is imagine now you have our own pictures of our younger selves. So if you are to, based on the life that you've lived so far mpaka saizi, if you are to talk to your younger self who did not know what he was going to experience in his future, what advice will you give him right now?
I think it's basically the same thing that we're doing to the young guys. Um,
Mm,
be respectful, follow your own path,
mm,
celebrate the small victories. That is one thing
mm,
I even my parents told me.
mm,
If you're not an A student, if you get a 51, you celebrate. That is a pass, you know. If you're not wearing the most expensive shoes, but you buy a new shoe and you feel good in them, celebrate. So for me, it was about celebrating successes, even celebrating losses. There are games I could
mm,
go and a coach will come and hug me and tell me, good job, and you've lost, you know. Like when I
mm.
came to realize there's honor in defeat. There are games you play and you lose, and you're like, you guys gave your hearts out. So for me, it's all
Mm.
about celebrating the small things in life. You know, we focus so much on being the next Steph Curry, but you're forgetting
Yeah.
to be a great teammate. You know, being also a great teammate
Mm.
is something actually, uh,
Something good.
yeah, something good. High five, good screens, good. You know, so for me, yeah, I'll tell myself be respectful, celebrate the small successes, and have a goal. You know,
Mm.
you can never go wrong in education.
Yeah.
So for me, even 10 years back, if there was no basketball, or 15 years back,
Mm.
I had a platform through education that actually helped me to be who I am today. So
Yeah.
invest in your books. You can never go wrong. We've had stories
Yeah.
of athletes who, after Arambe Stars, it's over. And this is
Yeah,
like
man.
for football, if you play for Gor Mahia FC or Ulinzi, and luckily Ulinzi is the military, or Tusker, those are the four biggest clubs in Kenya.
Mm.
Once you get to that ceiling, you're as good as done. The next Messi is born, you know. So what next?
Mm.
You know, basketball, KPA, the luckily Thunders now in the space, Ulinzi.
Yeah.
If you play for the big clubs, you're lucky now we have the banks that are in the league, we have the institutions that are in the league. I tell my players, take full advantage. Because they used to tell
Mm.
us sports is a very short window. But
Yes.
the beauty also about this game is about creating the experiences, you know, create
Mm.
memories. So I'm glad that I'm on this platform and you're somebody that I knew almost 20 years ago. So for me, somebody
Mm.
telling me this game will be more about the experiences and the memories. So make sure you use the game, don't let the game use you. And that's what has
Yes.
happened to so many athletes from different disciplines. After a high
True.
ceiling, there's nothing to look back to, you know. So for me,
Mm.
that's why I tell my youngest self, man, pick a book, pick a book. You're on scholarship, you're hungry, but go to class. They went through all
Yes.
that. Yeah. Hey,
Mm.
kuna njaa ni sawa, you go to school. You know,
Lakini Daro ingia.
going here. And it's
Eh,
paying off. Yeah.
yeah.
Because there are
Yeah.
tables you can sit and somebody's looking at you differently. Not as the
Mm.
Collins the superstar, but Collins as the marketer, Collins as this financial,
Yeah.
advisors. Yeah. So you also want
Mm.
kids who can also express themselves not only as athletes but also as educated
Yeah.
athletes. Yes.
Saizi, I'm not being paid to play basketball anywhere, but I'm able to play. kwa sababu I'm using skills that I learned in class that has given me clients, and that has given me a job, so that helps me now have the fuel ya kwenda zoezi, time ya kuenda hiyo zoezi, because at least we also focused on our books, and you're still learning, unajua it's a continuous thing, so that is a great thing. So as we come to a close, you can give us your last statements, and also how guys can connect with you, because you have an academy. You never know who's going to watch this. Maybe they might want to partner with you. Mwenye tumeongelea tu partnership. So you can give us your closing statements and where people can, find you maybe online. I'ma connect with you.
Great. So again, thank you for this opportunity to connect with you on and off the
Yeah.
court. You've been an amazing student of the game. So thank you
Yeah.
for bringing young coaches also into this platform. That means the game is growing. Yeah, and they are being seen. People appreciating their work. For me, I work with the national team. On the coaches chat, I'll be sharing also the dates that we do our trials, or anytime we come. Coaches are free to normally come and also probably just maybe have a session or give their input. Apart from the national team, I run my own basketball academy that I'm a founder, Elite Sports Africa Basketball Academy. It is based in Umoja. Yeah, we call it the home of Kenyan basketball. All the greats graced that basketball court. I'm also on social media as well, IG, Facebook, on X, just to show guys what we do. You don't want to say you never know who you're inspiring out there. Okay, but basically, our work is just to show people out there that something is going on at the grassroots level. Kofiti,
Hii net leo imekuamulia bro. Haijaifanyika hivi. Leo imetuamulia bro.
but it's all good.
But anyway. Unaweza endelea tu. Ulikuwa unasema you normally say. Ulikuwa unasema kitu.
Yeah, so maybe acha tunaweza anza tu.
Anza tu.
Yeah.
Naenda kuedit.
Okay. Yeah, so you can find me on the Kenyan basketball juniors national team. I'll be sharing the days that we have trials or anytime in camp. Coaches all over the country are welcome to our practice sessions. And those actually who have strength in certain areas, maybe defense, offense, or any other thing, are welcome to also work with our kids because we present our flag. I'm also based in Umoja, where I am the founder of Elite Basketball Africa Academy, an organization or a basketball program that actually gives hope to kids who dream big, not just become the next Steph Curry, but to get an opportunity to be someone through basketball. Of course, we use basketball as a tool to just elevate the kids in our community as well. So how we survive, of course, through friends and partners out there. Follow what we do on social media. I'm on Instagram, on Facebook. I post what I do, not just to show off, but just to show guys how basketball can be a tool for change or social change.
Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you for manze. Thank you so much for coming through, Coach Martin. It was a great episode, and for the guys who are watching also, thank you for staying with us up to this time. Martin's story reminds us that basketball is much more than just a game. It is a foundation of character, community, and change. So from the coast of K South to national arenas, his journey is a statement of power and what it can do when you focus on things like fundamentals, have resilience, and you don't give up. So we are grateful for having you on the show. It was inspiring, it was fun, it was educative, it was confirming. Unajua, like some things that I believe in, or some things that I'm seeing. I'm happy that you at your level, you're also seeing, and you've been able to address them. So I'm happy that today we're able to get into your diary and to learn from you, and from me and from Coach Martin. We want to tell our viewers thank you again, and till next week. Yeah, man, till next week, stay safe, and remember, your game, your responsibility. It's your boy Collins Odhiambo, and from me and Martin tunasema peace. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye bye. Thanks.
Yeah. From the blacktop dream to the hardwood stages, we rise to the grind, write our names on pages. No shortcuts, just sweat and feet. Every bounce of the ball, yeah, we build our fate. This is hoops for greatness, mindset in motion. Skills with a purpose, fire and devotion. Teaching the youth how to move with pride. On the court and in life, we don't just survive. We lead, we learn, we shoot for the stars. Every miss is a lesson, every scar makes you hard. So welcome to the journey where the real ones train. Hopes for greatness when we build that flame.